hear about buying seasonal produce all the time and you don't know what we're talking about because so often things are available all year long at the grocery store. But it is peach season right now and is prime time right in the middle of the summer to get beautiful peaches. And the best part is I can teach you not only how to bring them home and have them and enjoy them for a few days, but to have long-term storage of them. So I'm going to teach you a couple quick tips of how I prepare these and wash these and keep them in the refrigerator, not in this beautiful bowl on my counter. And we're going to wash them. I'm going to teach you how to freeze them. And if you're interested in learning how to can them or a dessert recipe, we're going to share those also. So here I have some yellow peaches. We're going to cut these open so you can see what they look like inside. So these are yellow and these are white peaches. They're more the pinkish color that I love on the outside, but inside they're white. And then these adorable little peaches are called donut peaches and they have a little tiny stone inside of them. So these are donut peaches and they're not a peach, but it is like the same season for them, but this is a nectarine. And so I often will pick a nectarine over a peach because they're not fuzzy on the outside. So if you have somebody in your family that doesn't like the fuzzy texture and you don't want to peel things, nectarines are a lifesaver for that. So anyways, I'm going to teach you how I wash these next. All right, with the peaches, we are going to use the vinegar wash to clean these. Using the 5% distilled white vinegar is going to kill off the mold spores, 𝐿. Listeria, and any other harmful pathogens that might be on your produce, which will help it last longer. So after we get these washed and we lay them out to dry, then we're going to put these in the refrigerator. You want to make sure that you keep these peaches away from other produce items. So I try to normally keep these up on a shelf in my refrigerator and not in the drawer with the citrus. Nectarines and the peaches we treat exactly the same. You're gonna wash them in the vinegar water, and then you wanna make sure when you're drying them that you put them upside down so water doesn't get into that stem core area. So as I'm drying them, I will lay them upside down and then kind of rotate them around, but I don't want that water to be sitting here when I first pull them out of the water. These are ones that you don't have to rinse after you bring out of the vinegar wash. You can just set them out. And since we're going to get these ready to freeze, I don't have to have them all the way bone dry before we're going to go to the next step. But if you're putting them in the refrigerator, then make sure that they are all the way dry before you put them away in the refrigerator. To cut them, I always go down that line that's there and go around the pit and meet back up at the stem. And then you can just twist it, just like this. If it's a free stone, it should just pop off just like this, super easy. And I promise you, if it is a free stone, then they normally advertise that. If you are getting peaches to can and you're doing like 40 pounds at a time, you want to make sure that it's a free stone peach. If it's called a cling stone peach, it's really hard to get the peach pit out. And sometimes you have to take a spoon and get any little hard bits that's left in here. So it's really important when you're canning your peaches or whatever that you look for free stone whenever you can. So when you're food preserving. I normally, since I'm going to be using these for smoothies, I just keep the skin on them. It just makes it a lot easier. If I'm canning, then I normally will boil the peaches for a second and then put them in ice water, and then the skins just peel right off. But if you're just trying to do one or two at a time, if you just take your knife at the top here and you grab that skin, it normally will pull back. So for these, since I'm going to put these in smoothies, I'm going to leave the skins on, which just makes it super quick. So with peaches, you want to make sure that they don't brown. And so while you're cutting them up, they need to soak in a lemon water for a few minutes, for about 5 minutes before they go into the freezer. And that will stop any oxidation in the freezer. I normally use just half of a lemon, so the juice of half of a lemon. But if you have bottled juice, it'd be about 2 tablespoons, and then just enough water to cover like 3 or 4 peaches. So let's see. Let's say we are going to use 4 cups of water to half of a lemon. It's going to soak in the bowl of water for about 5 minutes, and then I'll just set them on the tray and they will go into the freezer. Okay, a zero waste tip. When I have a whole bunch of peaches, I always save the pits and the skins, and I can make jelly with those. So jelly is made with like cores and pits and the skins of an item, and then it goes into a cheesecloth. And then you take the cheesecloth out and you make the jelly. But if you didn't know, that is a great way for zero food waste, is to make jelly out of your discards of your peach pits. But jam is made out of the actual flesh of an item. So if you were making peach jam, you would use the actual peach, but for jelly, it is the skins and the pits. With clean hands, I'm doing this, but the white peaches were not freestone, and you can tell that it makes a little hard spot right there. So I just kind of rub my finger across it and make sure that there isn't anything that I wouldn't want to eat before I put them away. And you can just take a knife or a spoon and just clean that up a little bit if you want to. These peaches have been in the freezer overnight. I put them on a tray and then with some parchment paper, so they just lift off really easy. And then they're frozen solid. This is called flash freezing. And then I'm going to put it in a silicone bag. And this way I can pull out just a couple and add them to a smoothie or whatever I want to be using them for over the next 6 months, year, until the next harvest season. So I make sure that we freeze enough to have all year long for smoothies. I also can them if I want to make them shelf stable, but anybody can freeze them even if you don't know how to can. If you want to learn more about being able to can peaches and making them shelf stable, we have another video and a blog post for that. And 2 years ago, this is actually from 2021, I was in a really big hurry during peach season, and I had just put the frozen peaches in vacuum seal bags, and they will actually last like 2 to 3 years in the freezer this way. But I didn't take the time to flash freeze them first. I knew that these are ones I was going to put into like peach cobblers, and so I didn't worry about flash freezing them first. But if you do this, it is a solid block, and you can't pull it out just for smoothies. So think about that when you go to put things away. It is worth taking a little bit of extra effort so you can use these any kind of way over the next year. Vacuum sealed, they'll last in the freezer 2 to 3 years. So if you're wanting to check out a dessert recipe, make sure you check out our peach blueberry crisp, and that will be linked below. All right, these peaches are the ones that I'm saving to put in the refrigerator because I want to be able to fresh eat these and not have them frozen. I'm going to save these fresh peaches, and my favorite way to enjoy them is with a caprese salad. So, or just single serve ones, but with basil and peaches and mozzarella and a balsamic reduction that I do get at the store. People ask me all the time for the recipe of that. I don't have it. I get that at Costco. But anyways, that is my favorite way to enjoy some fresh peaches. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video today. Know that we have a produce book that has all of the summer items and how to keep them fresh longer. It's called I Bought It, Now What? We have the top 25 items in the first book that we sent out, and then we have a summer edition, and we're working on something else that's going to be released soon. So make sure that you're checking that out. We would love for you to hit subscribe and join the Cross Legacy so you can see all of the new videos that we put out. We really try to focus on what is in season and how to save you money on your groceries.